What's up guys, it's Sam Taggart and I'm gonna go into how to go from 1 sale a day to 2 sales a day. If you want more free sales training and more psychology, more tips and tricks, click the link and you'll get access to a bunch of free content. But let's dive into this. The first tip on how to go from 1 to 2 a day is simply when you tap out, meaning your mind is playing tricks on you and saying, I'm a 1 a day guy. Jordan Belfort spoke at our event, Door to Door Con, and he talked about how many coolers a day are you gonna get rid of? Most guys were a 1 cooler guy. He's like, are you a 1 cooler guy or are you a 5 cooler guy? Because the 5 cooler guys are the ones that are balling. So today I'm gonna talk about what's the mindset to get you out of being a 1 cooler guy. So the first one is where you see yourself. So if you were to list yourself and you go, if I bagel, I'm pissed, right? If I get 1, I'm excited. And if I get 2, I'm like ecstatic. I'm pumped out of the, I'm just so excited. To go from 1 to 2 a day, you just have to change these numbers to say, I'm pissed at 1, I'm excited at 2, and I'm ecstatic at 3. Does that make sense? So those that can change the shift and saying when I tap out, instead of I sold 1 by 3 o'clock and they're kind of coasting the rest of the day because like, dude, I hit my quota, I did my time, I got my mental goal, is just to saying, no, that's basically like bageled. I'm pissed I've only got 1. I'm hunting for my second is the first step. Now let's go into step number 2, referrals. Referrals is your way to just instantly start doubling. The easiest sales are referrals. So if I simply said, I'm a 1 a day guy, and this 1 a day is going to get me another deal every time, meaning I build a sweet referral process into the end of my sale and they help me leapfrog. So what happens is if I'm selling this guy, he's like, yay, I just bought. He's got this emotional high. He's more inclined to refer me right then and there. So I'm gonna leverage that emotion. He's gonna do what we call leapfrog. So this is my sweet variation of a frog. I'm gonna jump over and he's gonna set my next appointment. My whole goal is he sets my next appointment. So at the end I go, let's call somebody right now, see if I can get an appointment right now to where you're literally just sending me right over to this guy. I'm gonna do that same cycle. He's gonna send me over to this guy. And if I get good and efficient with that process, I'm gonna go much more than just a 2 a day guy. I'm gonna go 3, 4, and 5 a day, and my sales are gonna happen a lot quicker, okay? So how do we own referrals instead of just hunting that cold contact is tip number 2. And the last one is how to be more efficient with your time. So when I started to become a top performer, my simple sales process took me about 1.5 hours. So I did the math. I say, okay, I know my ratios. I know for every 6 people I talk to, I'm gonna get into 1 home. And I know for every 1 home I get into, I'm gonna close about half of those, okay? So here's my ratio. But in order to talk to 6 people, I've gotta, make X amount of calls or X amount of cold calls, right? So I'm gonna talk to 6, I'm gonna get into 1 home, meaning 1 demonstration, and I'm gonna close half of those. That was my ratio. And it took about 1.5 hours in each home. So that's 3 hours, let's just do the math. 3 hours of demoing for 1 sale. To talk to 6 people probably took me 1.5 hours. So I simply said, okay, 4.5, 5 hours of my day to get 1 deal. So I said, wait a minute, how do I change that? It's hard to go change. I can run faster. I actually got a scooter to go make more contacts so I can move quicker. I started driving around to homes because I was in the country, far distant homes, and I was like, okay, let's go quick. So I said, how do I accelerate this? And then how do I fix this? Because here was the big bulk of my day, was it's like, okay, out of my whole sales process, 3 hours to get my 1 sale, right? So what I did is I simply cut down on this and said my average sales time, how do I cut out the fluff? How do I cut out the non-essential stuff in my sales process? Am I building too much rapport? Am I telling too many stories? Am I overselling? And what ended up happening was my sales ratio actually went up and my time per sale, I broke down to 45 minutes. Then I said, okay, I wanna get to 3, 4, 5 a day. Well, that's impossible if it's 45 minutes. I said, let's break it down and let's get down to 30 minutes. And I brought my sales process to under 30 minutes pretty much every time. I didn't find myself with the old lady talking for 2 hours. I had a friend that I worked with that played Risk with a customer. His average sales process was literally 3 hours. I'm like, well, an hour and a half of that is playing Risk on your iPad. Like, you're never gonna be a top performer. And I use that example because a lot of times we are doing our own version of Risk with the customer because we are afraid to get back out there and start the cold contact process again. And it's much more comfortable sitting with the customer, chatting, shooting the breeze, whether they buy or not. So my third tip to becoming from 1 a day to 2 a day, which is 2 times what you're doing, but if you're a 2 a day guy right now, to 4 a day is simply 1, you gotta know where you tap out. Change your mindset. 2, get more referrals. It's just instant deals. And number 3, be much more efficient with your time and the time it takes you to sell one deal. Now, simply, if you want more tips and tricks, we have a whole training, a whole university on sales. If you just click the link, you can schedule a demo and we'll go over what we have in our university. I'd love to help you out and I hope you enjoyed this. So like, comment, and share this with others, and let's see you soon.